Hey folks, this is Rhykker. Diablo at BlizzCon 2016. Over the past week, there have been some new developments that may alter our expectations for BlizzCon. And in this video, we'll go over them all. But first, here's the too long didn't watch version of this video. The schedule for BlizzCon 2016 has released, and Diablo is basically tied for last place with regards to how much stage time it's getting at the event. That said, it's getting more floor space than it got last year at BlizzCon 2015. This also doesn't account for the special Diablo anniversary celebration party taking place, which may or may not tie into a mysterious visit that two former Diablo lead developers paid to Blizzard headquarters recently. So that's the too long didn't watch if you don't have time for the full video, but now let's go into the details. So the BlizzCon schedule released October 13th, you can see it here. And right away, looking at this from a Diablo perspective, you can see that Diablo's not well represented. On the first day of BlizzCon, on the main stage, we have Diablo's 20th anniversary, whose description reads, "Join the Diablo 3 development team for a look back on 2 decades in Sanctuary, and get a first look at our plans to celebrate the occasion." There's literally nothing else Diablo related on the schedule for the first day, but on the second we have 2 panels. On the Creative Collective stage, we have Diablo Art and Design, and then on the panel stage, we have Diablo 3 Dev Talk and Q&A, whose description reads, "The Diablo 3 team digs deep into upcoming patches, showcasing new features and epic content making their way into the game in the future. They'll also answer any burning questions you might have." So obviously the phrasing here suggests that Diablo 3 isn't in maintenance mode, that maybe it's temporarily so for now, but that there will be more major content patches coming. I mean, they use the term epic content, and I don't think that'll mean cosmetic items. But here's the thing. Let's say Blizzard were to have a new expansion, then they're not going to say in the description content for a new expansion. They're also not going to put anywhere in that description. If they want to reveal something at BlizzCon, then they're not going to let us know ahead of time. So first off, any big news, like a new game announcement, or even an expansion, that would happen during the opening ceremony. And then later Diablo panels would cover whatever that new content or new reveal was about. Something they've done in the past, for example, when they announced Overwatch, was they left a big gap in their timeline, and it turns out that the big Overwatch reveal took place in that timeline. But if you look at the schedule here, you don't see any big gaps, so we're not likely to see any surprise panels. This means if there is anything Diablo related that won't be Diablo 3, meaning a new Diablo game, a Diablo 4, or a Diablo expansion, it's going to be slated into what's already there. So basically, as per the current schedule, there doesn't seem to be a lot of time for a new game. The Diablo 3 Dev Talk and Q&A could potentially be also about an expansion, but odds are it wouldn't be about another Diablo game. And as for on the main stage, Day 1, Diablo 20th Anniversary, maybe there we'll get an announcement of a Diablo 2 remaster, something like that. But overall, based on the current schedule, it's not looking like there's a lot of room for discussion about a new game. Of course, this doesn't mean that a new game isn't in the works. Again, they were hiring for a year for positions for an upcoming Diablo project. It just might mean that they're not ready to reveal it yet. Now, we also have the map of the show floor. And last year, there was sort of a meme emerged, or just an alarming trend. People were noting that year after year, the Diablo area at BlizzCon was getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And 2015 was the smallest it's ever been. Depressingly so. It was set up super nice. I had the pleasure of visiting it in person, and it looked amazing, and the Diablo team did an amazing job with what they had, but they really weren't given a big slice of the pie. So the jokes basically were that, for 2016, Diablo's booth would be a porta potty or something. But if we look at the size comparison here, the area is actually larger this year. Is it huge? No, but it's bigger than 2015 and almost as big as it was in 2014. I made a size comparison of the Diablo area over the years and measured their rough area. These units mean nothing in and of themselves, but compared to each other, they do have meaning. So you can see in 2011, that's when it was at its biggest, and about 3 times the size as it's scheduled to be in 2016. Note that BlizzCon 2011 was the BlizzCon before Diablo 3's release. It might still seem pretty damn depressing to Diablo fans how small the Diablo area has become. But there's something we have to keep in mind. In 2011, there were only 3 Blizzard games represented at BlizzCon: Warcraft, StarCraft, Diablo. Since then, Blizzard has doubled its number of games: Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, and Hearthstone. Now, all these games are competing for floor space, so it's to be expected that the Diablo area would have shrunk as more games were added. And of course, there's no perfect formula to figure this out, but I did a very, very gross calculation to adjust for inflation, as it were, and these are the results we get when we account for that. Basically, it's a lot less depressing. Note that 2013-2014 included Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm, while 2015 and 16 included Overwatch as well. So, accounting for the extra game, Diablo 3's area at BlizzCon 2016 is about the same as its area at 2014, which is only about a third smaller than 2011, back before the launch of Diablo 3. And the 2016 area is about 70% bigger than it was in 2015. Now here's another interesting thing to note. If you look back through all the years, the area was always called Diablo 3. Diablo 3, Diablo 3, Diablo 3, but this year, it just says Diablo. While this could mean nothing, it could also mean that maybe there'll be Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 to play in celebration of the anniversary, be it remastered versions or just originals. Apart from show floor space, we can take a look at how much show time is devoted to Diablo 3 versus the other properties. Now, I ran some numbers to compare across the various Blizzard games, to see who gets the most attention, who gets the least. And for this, I ignored all the tournaments, all the show matches, everything like that, because it's not a fair comparison. Diablo doesn't have anything like that, so of course, if you include that, Diablo's going to look absolutely minuscule. So when you do the tally, it seems that both Diablo and Hearthstone are tied for last place with respect to main stage time at 45 minutes and panel time with 2 hours of panels. The thing is, Hearthstone has a whole hall dedicated to its tournaments. So I don't know that it's fair to say that they're really tied for last place in that regard. However, you do also have to account for the after party. You see, Blizzard announced its Blizzard 25th anniversary and Diablo 20th anniversary party at BlizzCon 2016. The party will be Friday night, it'll last 2 hours, and it'll be outside the convention center, open to everyone who's in the area. Because it's split between 25 years of Blizzard and 20 years of Diablo, we can't just chalk this all up to Diablo time, and we don't know what the split will be. But it does seem to be branded a little bit more towards being a Diablo event. Also, if you take a bit of a closer look at the image, you'll note something maybe interesting about the Diablo art. Reddit user Architect pointed out that demon looks very similar to the demon that holds your health globe in Diablo 3. And he made this side-by-side comparison image, where on the left we have the health globe, and on the right, that art that we see in the marketing image. Now, they bear a striking similarity, but there's definite differences. The Diablo one seems more cartoony, is the term that most people use when they're describing Diablo 3's visuals, relative to the other one that seems more gritty, more realistic. Now, some people think that this might be artwork for the new UI of some kind of new game or something. They're obviously not going to change the Diablo 3 UI at this point, so it has to be a new something. But it could very easily just be older artwork. This could have been either concept art or some early development artwork for the Health Globe Demon for Diablo 3 that just never made it to launch. You know, they changed art direction at some point to go less gritty, less realistic, more painterly, more stylized. And so this could have just been a leftover art asset from that. Now, interesting to note, in the write-up for the celebration party, Blizzard says we'll have some great food, special anniversary-themed drinks, entertainment, and even a surprise or two. As much as I'd love to believe that that surprise or two is Diablo 4, they wouldn't be making a big announcement like that at the party, outside of the convention. Again, all the major news is going to happen right at the opening ceremony. So what could be a Diablo-themed surprise or two? I don't know, but maybe a surprise visit from some of the Diablo 2 lead devs? Now, on October 6th, David Brevik released this tweet. Where is Dave today? And that is a picture of the exterior of Blizzard headquarters. Bill Roper then replied to that tweet with his own picture, saying same place that he was. Now, David Brevik was co-founder and president of Blizzard North, the guys who made Diablo 1 and Diablo 2. Brevik was a senior designer on Diablo, and was a project and design lead on Diablo 2. As for Bill Roper, he was a producer on Diablo 1, senior producer on Diablo 2, and he was the vice president of Blizzard North when he left the company in 2003. These two guys were instrumental to the Diablo series. And we go over why they left Blizzard in this video here. We also talk about a ton of people who left Blizzard over the years to start their own companies, and what happened to them, what games they made. But in short, these two guys were working on Diablo 3 along with Blizzard North when they left Blizzard altogether in 2003. And they went off to create their own game studio and release, eventually, Hellgate London, which is sort of a sci-fi third-person Diablo game. Now, some theorize that they were at Blizzard headquarters because they were being hired back by Blizzard to work on another Diablo project. A more likely theory was that they were being invited to Blizzard headquarters by Blizzard in order to try out a Diablo 2 remaster, kind of get their blessing. But what's most likely is that there'll be special guests at the Diablo party. They'll probably give a talk about the history of Diablo, that kind of thing. Now, before we wrap up this video, I just want to touch on one final thing that it's probably nothing, but some people are talking about it. There's a new BlizzCon Diablo shirt that's been made available in the Blizzard shop. You can see it here. It's a pretty cool design, and it's named Diablo 3 Realms of Evil T. And for any non-native English speakers, T is just short for t-shirt. Now, some people are freaking out about this shirt. They think Realms of Evil will be the name of the next Diablo 3 expansion. It seems pretty odd for Blizzard to announce that via t-shirt in their shop, or for Blizzard to screw up this way and leak it like that. Also, a viewer named James Davies pointed me towards some artwork on the Sons of the Storm website, which is a website where a few Blizzard artists post their artwork, and you can see that this image was made in 2011, or possibly earlier, but it's got the 2011 Blizzard Entertainment copyright on it. Of course, this doesn't preclude that they're using old artwork for a new expansion, a new content, but it just seems a bit unlikely. It seems it's just a really cool image that they wanted to put on a shirt. But a Reddit user named Mac Shuffle did some digging through the source code, and he found that the keywords associated with the shirt are Diablo 3, Realms of Evil, We Love Fine Apparel Men's. And he goes on to point out that items in the shop that have Reaper of Souls in the title also have Reaper of Souls as the tag right after Diablo 3. So could this be the next expansion? It's within the realm of possibility. It's not very likely. What might be more likely is that this is some kind of maybe bundled edition. For the console we had the Ultimate Evil edition of Diablo 3, so maybe Realms of Evil will bundle all 3 Diablo games, or maybe Realms of Evil even refers to some major content patch that will include Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 within Diablo 3, sort of as rifts or other areas, as a lot of people have been suggesting to Blizzard as a good idea. For Season 8, Andariel Wings are one of the rewards that you can get for the season, which could serve to help bridge that gap and take us, introduce the concept of playing Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. But it's probably just a t-shirt. That wraps up this video though, folks. Leave a comment with your thoughts on all this. What do you think? Will there be any announcements at BlizzCon, and if so, what will those announcements be? Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch and Patreon supporters for making these videos possible. Check out these other videos, and subscribe to join Rhykkers Raiders to stay informed on Diablo news.
This just in, breaking news. As of today, September 30th, it has been announced that Season 7 will end on Friday, October 14th, and Season 8 will begin Friday, October 21st. What could this premature ending of Season 7 signify? What could the lack of PTR and abrupt start of Season 8 mean?